Hey everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Upcycled Adulting. I am here to help you grow to accomplish your goals, create healthy habits, and overcome obstacles. Today we're going to be talking about the obstacle that is fear. Fear and imposter syndrome, and how that relates to your goals and your goal journey, and essentially you building the life that you've been dreaming of. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel because I am all about helping you build that dream life. Now, fear is something I happen to know a whole lot about. And part of the reason I know a lot about fear is because I struggle with generalized anxiety disorder and I come from a relatively complicated family of origin. So I didn't grow up really thinking that there were a lot of possibilities for me. To be honest, I don't know that anybody thought that there were a lot of possibilities for me. My teachers, my counselors, anybody, right? And because of that, when I ventured out into the world as an adult, I felt very much in my box. Very much like as a woman, there were certain things I was supposed to check off my list, like getting married or having kids, and certain things that would really never be accessible to me. Now, it might help you to understand that I'm a Gen Xer and that I have teen parents. I'm the oldest kid of teen parents in the early 70s. That there was a lot of philosophy in my family about the role of women that I didn't know anyone in my family who was a woman who had gone to college. And I actually knew very few women who had even graduated from high school. I didn't actually realize that nurses and teachers went to college. I didn't think women went to college. And I know that that probably sounds really wild because I was born in the 70s, not in the 20s, but that was just my frame of reference. I grew up in a family that was impoverished to lower middle class at best. And my whole life, that wasn't a thing, right? I live in the Detroit area. The best you would hope for is that you'd marry someone who had a good factory job. That was it. That was basically the dream. Now, I always wanted to go to college. I always wanted more in my life. And I was consistently told that that wasn't really possible because, I'm a girl and girls are bad at math and science. So I couldn't be a doctor and girls can't do that. And you're going to ruin your chances with, any potential prospects for husbands because you always have your nose in a book. And some of you might relate to this, and some of you might be like, I can't believe that this is a thing. But in some way, most women as girls were taught to play small. Most of us were taught to fear accomplishing our goals. Most of us were taught to actually feel like imposters when we stepped into positions of power or influence, or even when we just pursued our own dreams, because that's man stuff, right? Those things are reserved for men. Men are allowed to do that, but we as women need to be good girls and pleasing, right? I mean, there are so many rules that women are taught really, really young. Whether we're taught them because people say them to us, which actually was my situation, or we're taught them because of what we see around us, also my situation, we grow up with this fear that as women, if we step into these positions, if we chase after our goals, if we go after our dreams, if we pursue that thing, that we will be judged. That's part of why, as women, the number one goal that women set is weight loss. Listen, this is probably a whole conversation for a different day. Y'all can tell me in the comments if you want me to do a video just about this. But essentially, what it is that women are allowed to be thin. We're allowed to be beautiful. We're allowed to be attractive. We're allowed to have goals about what we look like and fitting better into the modern beauty standard. That's an acceptable goal for a woman. But women starting businesses and women getting higher education and women, even to some degree, women taking control in their households, right? While, by the way, household management is the number two goal women are allowed to have. Some of these things become in contrast with what we've been socially taught to do. Now, I may have lost some of you here, and definitely women pursuing health goals without concern for weight loss, right? I may have lost some of you here because some of you might be like, Cassie, that's not me. It just freaks me out. Here's the deal. When we think about taking on our goals, we think about how inconvenienced other people are going to be. We become fearful about what other people will think about us. Other people will judge us because as a mom, you shouldn't prioritize your goal, right? As a mom, getting that degree or starting that business is taking away from your kids and your partner. And you shouldn't do that as a mom. That's what you feel like. So you feel this sense of fear and judgment. You feel like people are going to look at you and think, I mean, really, her? And that makes you feel like an imposter. That's what causes you to feel like an imposter. Really, this is just internalized stuff, okay, related to our exposure to these outside influences that, by the way, are everywhere. This is on social media. This is on television. This is on magazines. This is in our families. This is literally everywhere. We keep telling girls that they can be anything. Now we tell them you can be anything, but there's a long list of things that they have to be first. They have to be good homemakers. They have to be good sisters. They have to be good daughters. They have to be good friends. They have to be good moms. They have to, right? These are the things, and they have to be pretty. All right. And any time that we see the conflict in our own lives that we're going to pull from one of these categories where we should be good and pleasing so that we can accomplish this goal over here, so we can live full out in our authentic selves, we feel like we're messing up. So when you consider the fact that change is already hard, change is already scary, your brain is already hardwired to think that change is dangerous, right? That's how our species has survived for years. It's safe here. There are no predators. We have a food source. We're not moving. We will stay here, okay, until we have to. We will stay here. Change is really detrimental in our brain. So you have that fear. And then here's the deal. You fear failure because it will be embarrassing. You fear success because, I mean, if you were successful, you might not know what to do once you get there, and you don't have a lot of confidence that you will. You fear other people's opinions because you know you're being watched and judged, right? And you feel like an imposter. And you feel like you're letting everyone down. And you feel like, and you're fearful. You're afraid of abandonment. You're afraid of rejection. Again, another real fear that comes from our need for survival. Humans are pack animals. Rejection and abandonment are absolutely detrimental to your possible ability to survive in your brain. That's how your brain is wired. Fear isn't real, though. It's not real. It's just feelings and emotions that appear real. That's what fear stands for. Feelings and emotions appearing real. It's not real. No one's going to actually leave you because you decide to build a business or because you decide to go back to school. And it doesn't matter if they're judging you. It's not your problem what they think, right? Them judging you or them not wanting to be in your circle anymore because you're doing this thing, you're showing up fully, you're shattering that ceiling, you are going after your dreams means they're not your people. Your people are waiting for you on the other side, just so you know, because people always get freaked out. I'm going to lose all my people, and then what am I going to do? Okay, well, I took that chance. One, you'll be surprised how many people you will inspire and essentially give permission, some kind of opening where they see it and they say, hang on a minute, I could do that too, who will come along. You will lose people, but there will be so many more who are ready to cheer for you at that finish line, who are ready to cheer for you on the journey because we know what it's like. All right. I read this saying one time that said, no one who's accomplished more than you is actually judging you or holding you to a standard. It's the people who have accomplished less and they feel threatened by your accomplishment. If you're not in the arena with me, you don't get to judge me. That's the reality. If you're not putting yourself out there and going after your dreams, you need to work on your own stuff. One of the things I like to do when I am dealing with fear, and this is the thing I tell people all the time, recognizing that fear is simply feelings and emotions appearing real. It's not real. It can't get you. Okay. It's not a bear, right? It's not a bear chasing after you because it's going to eat you. It's not. My fear about success or my fear about failure or my fear about judgment, my fear about rejection or abandonment, it's not real. None of those things have happened yet. None of them have happened. And so it can't be predictive of the future. But what it can do is give me a lot of insight into the areas in which I might need to grow or I might need support for myself, right? What do I need? What is this showing me? And being able to look at that and say, okay, I'm not a bad mom because I start a business or because I go back to school or because I pursue my own dreams. That doesn't make me a bad mom. But boy, do I have a lot of fear around that. Why am I afraid of that? Am I afraid my kids will think I'm a bad mom? Am I afraid my husband will think I'm a bad mom? Am I afraid my family will think I'm a bad? Oh, ding, ding. Am I afraid that the other moms at my kid's school will think I'm a bad mom? Ding, ding. Okay. Those are the things. Now, am I willing to give up my dream because these other people think it's a problem? Is this actually potentially beneficial for my kids that they can see this and know that as grown-ups, especially my daughters, that as grown women, they have permission and space to go after their dreams too? Are there more benefits of overcoming this? Are there things that I can do to give myself comfort? Maybe I should join a women's group that of women entrepreneurs, or maybe I should join a study group for women in school so that I have support from other women who are in a similar place in their lives. See, my fear has shown me where I need to work. My fear is revealing to me what I need. And rather than being afraid of the fear, hiding from the fear, trying to squish it down, I've done all those things. None of them work because it comes back subconsciously, right? So rather than doing that, what if I looked at my fear and said, it's okay, it's not real, okay? I am a 50-year-old woman. I know that there is not a monster under my bed. Even if I'm laying in bed and I'm having like weird, scary thought, I had a nightmare, I know I can get out of the bed and look under it. There will not be a monster there. And I will feel better once I've looked, right? Anybody who has ever gone in your kid's room and they're freaked out about something, maybe they had a bad dream and they're like, there's a monster in my closet, right? They're really, truly afraid of that. But once you look and you see there's a mess in your closet, if your kids are like mine and they hide their mess in the closet, but there's not a monster in the closet, right? Once we see that, we can actually soothe those fears. We can give ourselves the support that we need. You can't ignore the fear. You can't just push through it, all right? If you need more help coping with fear, if you're struggling in this area, if you know what? That really hit a nerve for me, Cassie. It really freaks me out. I really am scared. Or you're thinking, I don't know why, but something is stopping me, because sometimes we don't identify it as fear, right? I get hypervigilant. I think about all the possible outcomes. I feel anxious. Like I lay in bed and think about the conversation I had with that mom at pickup, and I wonder if she was trying to say something, right, judgy or snarky, and I'm not, and I wonder what people are going to think about this, and I don't want to tell anybody about, because if we're having those anxious thoughts, right, or we're just feeling stuck, there's a good chance fear is in there. Fear is a big piece of this. Make sure that you check out my Be Brave workshop. I have a workshop that is 3 units, and it goes through all various kinds of fears that you may be dealing with and specifically talks about how to address each one. There's an exercise at the end as the Small Step Saturday video. Go and check that out. Again, it's called Be Brave. You will love it. You will get so much out of it, and it will make this so much easier. I'm so glad that you are here. Do not forget to subscribe, and remember that you are absolutely amazing and you deserve to live the life you have been dreaming of. Bye, everyone.